Today on R&R on Sports, Larry and Howard give their thoughts on James Harden and early NBA storylines. Then we are treated to a throwback interview with NBA champion Lionel Hollins. All of this and more on this week's episode of R&R on Sports. Now, here are your hosts, Larry Robinson and Howard Robertson.
Hello and welcome to R&R on Sports. I'm Howard Robertson.
And I am the great one, Larry Robinson.
Hey.
What's up, brother?
How you doing?
Man, I'm fantastic.
Has it been a minute?
It seems like it's been a minute.
Everybody's hearing us every week.
But
they don't know how we put these shows in the can.
Yeah, but I was traveling.
Yeah,
and
I was all over the place.
You actually did an interview by yourself. And
I did. I didn't have no help. So
you was thinking
brother got to go on.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it was a good interview too.
Really,
we had a good talk.
Was that with Sean Anderson?
We had a good talk.
Yeah, y'all need to go check that one out.
Great talk.
I ain't listening to it because I get kind of upset. Think about somebody trying to do it.
So you gonna be like that? You gonna be like
that? I was kind of angry about that. I was kind of
all about you.
I was kind of
all about you. That sounds like amazingly like James Harden. Who we gonna get to?
Yeah, we gonna talk about that prima donna. Lord have mercy.
Yes.
I mean, this dude.
Don't go there.
Okay.
We got whole segment.
All right. Well, wait a minute. Okay, so listen, we gonna talk about this kid, man. This kid that is going to change the NBA. I mean, literally, man. If y'all don't know who I'm talking about the French freak. The French freak. He's Wembanyama. I mean, this dude, man, I saw this brother give Kevin Durant the blues, man. He's straight gay. I mean, he's busting 3-point shots and carrying on. You know, this kid got an 8-foot wingspan. I mean, I don't know how you scheme for this kid.
Yet people are talking about he's not doing so good and all of that. But I'm like, Pop, he's 19. He's getting used to the NBA. He's in the NBA. NBA.
Right.
He might be in the NBA too.
Right.
He's in the NBA and he is, what do you expect? He's on a huge learning curve. But naturally, what God gave him?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord.
Yes, sir.
He put a little something behind that.
Hey, man, I saw this dude cross up somebody at 7'4", bro. At 19 years old, he still got a growing to do. He might hit another growth spurt. We might be looking at a cat that might be 7'9".
And dunking is not a reach, it's a lean.
Yeah.
He tried to make it,
but he tried to make it look really like he's jumping and doing something.
He can make it look any way he wants.
But literally, he really just can run by the rim and just dunk it in the rim and not even jump. But he jumps to make it look like he's doing something, I guess. But man, I think they may have to raise the rim. What you think?
They won't be doing that, but they don't do that anymore since they changed the rules about
maybe
the Alcindor
rules. You know what they might do? They might outlaw dunking.
Like they did. Man, let me tell you something. I still got my fist balled up.
Can you imagine what Kareem would have done?
The Alcindor rule, because it affected me in high school.
Oh,
Did I ever tell you that?
Nah, you don't tell me you tried to dunk and got attacked.
I could dunk, man. I started playing ball when I was in the 10th
milk crate or something?
grade. Off a milk crate.
You jump off a milk crate or something? Or did somebody throw you up? You know how your boys
in the high jump.
Did you really?
Besides, yes, I did.
You had some hops.
I could dunk, but my sophomore year, you could not dunk in a game. It was against the rules. They call a tech on you.
Listen.
So
if
we
you could
do it
dunk,
in warm-ups.
Was your booty as big as it is now?
Why you looking at my butt?
Hey, because you can't help
Why
it.
You looking
it's
at
like
my
a child.
It ain't big as high. You got mixed up. Hey, man, this is deteriorated. You're listening to R&R on Sports, and we'll be right back after this. I got to get this fool straight.
Riffin' on jazz.
But she was a sheriff's deputy.
Where?
In Detroit.
In Detroit. Oh, my God. You can't be no punk for that.
And ended up playing a flute.
Riffin' on jazz on the Kazookian Network.
Welcome to the Sports Terrible Tower. This tower is one of a kind. We will be making random stops on various floors so you may revisit some of sports' most terrible times.
You mean to tell me it's a whole tower full of stuff?
Yes, sir, it is. And we have a basement deeper than the Grand Canyon, too.
Well, I be damned.
Each floor number is significant to an event. Our first stop, the third floor, representing round 3 of a 1997 fight.
Why didn't Mike Tyson bite Evander Holyfield's ear during the 1997 heavyweight bout? I got very frustrated and discouraged and stuff, and he was headbutting me, and I was really mad, and I didn't know what to do, and I just exploded, and I bit his ear. And no, matter of fact, I bit his
You hear
face.
that, fool?
Next floor is number 7. By the way, do you like dogs?
I sure do. I used to have... Oh, Lord!
Get back in there. The owner left and never came back. His initials scratched on the wall, though.
Let's see. MV. Who is that?
This is the 42nd floor. The number of a U.S. president that said...
But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
What sport?
No sport, really. He was just a playa. Now up to the 32nd floor. Here's somebody you might recognize.
It's no disguise. It's no disguise. It makes no sense. It doesn't fit. If it doesn't fit, you must acquit.
Well, if it ain't that line AOJ.
Now, we're between the 23rd and the 8th floors.
To live in the moment means to enjoy each and every one that we come in contact with. When Kobe Bryant died, a piece of me died. And as I look in this arena and across the globe, a piece of you died, or else you wouldn't be here. Those are the memories that we have to live with and we learn from. I promise you, from this day forward, I will live with the memories of knowing that I had a little brother that I tried to help in every way I could. Please, rest in peace, little brother.
This is Sports Terrible Tower. Just like you said.
Now you can get me to sing. I love this song. Cheating in the next room.
Cheating in the next room.
Did you hear the begging in those lyrics?
No, I heard that guitar coming in. That thing was crunk.
Blues in the Basement on the Kazookian Network.
R&R on Sports.
We're back. Yeah, we had to get some things straightened out. This man been looking in my butt.
Oh, come on, man. Hey, you can't help it. You can't. It's like Charles Barkley.
No,
it's like Charles Barkley, man. You know,
I told you it ain't big. It's just high.
Just high.
Anyway, so speaking of high butts, this dude got one too.
Okay.
James Harden.
Oh man,
is now with the Clippers.
Oh man,
and
he's going to destroy another team.
No, he's not going to destroy the team. He doesn't destroy the teams.
Okay, what does he do?
He doesn't destroy the teams, and he's
a culture
They need
killer.
to understand who and what they have.
Culture killer.
He is an individualist, and I don't think James Harden cares on the basketball floor about anybody other than James Harden. And if he's on a team and if they don't know that already, God bless him. I mean, you should.
Once again, I mean, you look at
years
look at
and
his
years
track, look at his
of
track
evidence.
record. Look at his track record. So he was in Houston. Houston gave him the world. Everybody he asked for. You want Russell Westbrook? We bring you Russell Westbrook. You want Chris Paul? We bring you Chris Paul.
Here you go.
You want Dwight Howard? We bring you Dwight Howard.
Right.
I mean, and you still ain't winning. Then he's disgruntled in Houston because he couldn't, for whatever reason. He wants to now force his way to Boston. I mean, I'm sorry, not Boston, Brooklyn. So he goes to Brooklyn. Now you got it set up, true enough. Kyrie flaked out with the whole vaccination thing, which can't be mad at him for that. But the fact that they were poised, well, I mean, you look at all these kids that's dying from heart issues and stuff. I mean, they believe they linking it directly to the vaccine. But be that as it may, whatever the case was, they still had the infrastructure to do an amazing thing. He forces his way out of there. Then he goes to Philly. Now, Philly, you got the MVP of the league. You got the you got the great coach.
Wait a minute. So far with the teams that you name, how many championships are we talking about?
0.
Excuse me? I didn't hear.
0. He got as many championships as you and I do. He got the same amount as you and I do. So now, wait a minute now. So I'm trying to figure out now he got an MVP in there, which I still think he didn't deserve. But with all that being said, he goes to Philly. Goes to Philly with the MVP of the league, got the great backup in Maxey, got the whole PJ Tucker. He's got the whole infrastructure in place.
All of it.
He shows up for 2 games during the playoffs because James he disappears in the playoff. He does it every year. It's not even an issue. It's not even anybody thinking. If he shows up in the playoff, they make it the front page of the damn ESPN website. And they talk about it. Oh my God, James showed up for the playoffs. And then he goes in and he has the ability to opt out of his deal. He doesn't. He opts into his deal and then gets mad at Morey for not trading him. I'm like, hold on, bruh. You had the ability to trade yourself. You had the ability to opt out of your deal, leave that $36 million because you knew you was going to get more than $36 million wherever you went. Leave that $36 million, go, then you got the way to choose wherever you want to go. But now he wanted this $36 million, so he opts into his deal. Dale Morey says, well, what the Clippers are trying to offer us, I'm not willing to take for an all-star caliber player, which I can't blame the dude. And then James Harden wants to blow up his phone all day. Daryl Morey ghosts him. I ain't got to talk to you about this. I done said what I done said. I'm the general manager of the team. Then he goes on a tirade, and people aren't talking about it. He goes to China and talks about Daryl Morey.
In China?
Yeah, because don't forget now, Daryl Morey was the one that said the thing about China and that freedom for Hong Kong, which caused all the issues with the NBA in China. So now, not only that, he brings that back up, which jeopardizes the league and the revenue and all that stuff again. I mean, this is a super selfish dude.
He is. I think he is. I got 2 words describing him. He is a nomadic
narcissist,
recluse.
Let's do alliteration. A nomadic narcissist.
Right. I got to put another consonant in there.
Okay.
He's a recluse.
Okay.
If you can be a recluse on a basketball team, and you're supposed to be a leader of that basketball team, look at James Harden. It is the most interesting things. But I say God bless him. I go on.
No, but see, here's what happens. Then I'm trying to see who's pulling the strings in Los Angeles, because how is that going to work? You already know you got Russell Westbrook, who we saw at the Lakers, can't play without the ball, can't play off the ball because he's not a great shooter. But he plays really well with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard.
But don't you think that the chemistry that they, whatever chemistry they had in Oklahoma, they know each other.
They know each other, but obviously it didn't work in Houston. Don't forget, they did it in Houston. Now, this guy been on 4 teams in 4 seasons. 4 teams, y'all. 4 teams, and he's forced his way out of every single team. I want to know who's calling the shots at the Clippers, because I want to know who said this was a good idea. I want to know the dude who said this is a great idea. Let's bring James Harden to our team that will enhance our opportunities to win a championship. Okay, well, what we using as a precedence? Because he ain't won no championships. Now, he was with Kyrie. He was with Kevin Durant. No championships. He was in Philly with Joel Embiid and all the folks in Philly. No championship. And he was in Houston forever. No championship. He was in OKC. No championship.
We're gonna see.
So I guess this is his year.
I think that legacy is gonna be continued. But we will see. What do you think about the team with the worst NBA record in the league?
Oh, our hometown Grizzlies?
Yes.
I actually went to see them last night.
Did you really?
Yes, I did.
Did you enjoy yourself? Obviously, you couldn't. They weren't listening because you couldn't pull them through the pretzels.
I enjoyed the pretzels. Well, listen. Here's the problem with the Grizzlies. They have no energy. Something else is missing from that team, and you know what I think it is? Dylan Brooks. I hate to say it. I think it's Dylan Brooks because Dylan Brooks is insane. I checked him out the other night as well. And
energy and another E word, edge.
Yeah, well,
that's
Dylan Brooks,
what he gave them.
But he gave them that edge. He gave them that moxie. He gave them that swag. And that's why Houston gave him that money, gave him that bag, because he brought all of that.
I hadn't seen him really. How's he doing?
He brought all of that when they whooped the Lakers' tail the other night.
Okay.
They whooped the Lakers' tail good. And he brought all of that craziness to LeBron. Now, one thing I will say, LeBron's averaging somewhere in the 24 to 26 range this year. Guess what he did against Dylan Brooks? 18. Dylan Brooks put it on him. Now, I ain't making Dylan Brooks no LeBron stopper and all that stuff.
Because you'll jinx him, Jack.
Yeah,
the next time.
No, he's going to be jinxed just because. But once again, I think they missed Dylan more than we willing to give credit for. And then on top of that, of course, they missing Ja.
He's due back mid-December.
He can't get back fast enough, brother.
Yeah.
Because they look terrible.
Yeah.
They don't look terrible. They just got Bane playing on the ball. Bane ain't free to shoot his spot up jumpers. It's really challenging for Bane. And I think he's putting himself under a lot of pressure just because he's got $200 million.
What do you think about Marcus Smart?
Marcus Smart is doing what Marcus Smart does. Only thing I would have to, I got this thing about players that move to a new city and get married. It changes that game for some reason. It changes the game. They go to a new city, get married, and they seem to lose an edge. And
he got married?
Yeah, he got married. As soon as he got to Memphis.
Somebody from Memphis?
Nah, of course not. He brought that with him. He brought some baggage with him.
All right. Lastly, the question is being asked, is Deion, Coach Prime, being exposed?
No, he ain't exposed. He got the first year on a team that didn't win. They won one game last year.
I don't like that question at all.
Listen, man, Deion's fine. Yeah. Watch what happens with this transfer portal. Because the problem they have with Colorado is the fact they don't have a line. And Shador is running for his life.
Yes,
Grown is running for his life.
Yes, Lord,
every play, every time he dropped back. I'm looking at the offensive coordinator, and I'm trying to figure out why you ain't throwing nothing in the flats or something. I realized the last offensive coordinator got fired. He should have been fired because literally they aren't doing anything to relieve any pressure.
I could block better than that.
You couldn't.
Yes,
so listen, here we go. Here we go.
I talk about their mama.
Listen.
I would stop them.
We will be back with an amazing interview You stay right there. This is R&R on Sports, and I'm over here with King Big Booty.
The company is based in Memphis, but it is international.
A new building, an expanded team, new equipment, a new studio, all inside of 7 years.
The resources that we were able to utilize with Kazukian and their team has been incredible. And our partners at Kazukian has been a large part of our success.
One, it's Black owned, so we get to tell our own stories in our own way.
With social media and the technology we have today, the world is listening.
Kazukian. Check out all your Kazukian favorites now. Download the Kazukian app, available on Android and iOS.
Welcome back to R&R on Sports. See, every week.
Hey, man, you know,
why don't you give us some variation?
Back.
He wants to be Smokey Robinson. But only the best here on R&R on Sports, and today is no different. We are proud and pleased to have with us an NBA coach supreme.
Player, to me, his brother won an NBA championship. You better put some respect on his name.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Coach Lionel Hollins, welcome to R&R on Sports. Glad to have you.
Well, I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, absolutely. This first time, right?
No, second time. Back early.
Right early.
Right early in R&R on Sports history.
Okay.
He was here.
Cool. Glad to have you back then.
Well, thank you.
All kind of stuff. But let's start out for those who have been under a rock or something for the past however many years. Talk a little bit about you. Give us the Cliff Notes version of your career.
Well, obviously, I was a basketball player.
Everybody don't know that. See?
Everybody don't know that. Right. I graduated from Arizona State University.
All right.
I was drafted by the Portland Trailblazers, first round, sixth player taken. I wish I was a sixth player taken now. But
give them a year so they have some perspective.
1975.
All right.
I don't envy anybody the money they make now. I'm just making a joke. I'd like to have been there. But I played for the Trailblazers. We won an NBA championship. In my second year, we were the youngest team in the NBA to win a championship.
Mm-hmm.
And the next year, we had a great team. And in 3 years, the team was dissolved of its players, traded around the league.
Right.
And I played in Philadelphia, played in 3 NBA finals. I've coached in 4 NBA finals.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's 4. And I played in an All-Star game and coached in 3 other All-Star games. So I've had a nice career both playing and coaching.
Mm-hmm.
I started my coaching at Arizona State as a volunteer assistant. And then I coached for the Phoenix Suns and Milwaukee Bucks, Vancouver, British Columbia, the Grizzlies' original home.
Right.
And then I was with the Grizzlies for almost 14 years at different periods, 5 years in Vancouver and then another 9 years here.
Wow.
And I was the head coach for 4.5 years. So
right.
I'm laughing. You came from Vancouver to Mayberry, huh?
When I first came here to Memphis, it felt home. It felt like home. It was comfortable. And I actually moved my family here, sold our house in Arizona.
Wow.
Moved here and bought a house, and we've been here ever since.
Ever since.
Memphis does that to people.
Really?
It really does. I mean, people that are from here and go other places and come back, as well as people who come here to visit and end up staying.
Zebo and everybody,
they still here.
Yeah, all the Tony Allen, all of them folks stayed around, and that says a lot about the community. I got a new hashtag.
What's that?
I love my city.
Oh,
hashtag I love my city.
Does that mean Louisville?
No. My city. I grew up in Memphis.
How about hashtag down to earth?
Down.
This is a very down to earth.
That's what it is.
That is.
You can be comfortable. You can go in any environment and fit in and get along. And
he might just bump into the mayor at the local corner bar. You know, it's that kind of city.
I'm going to tell you something that you don't know that I attribute to you. I attribute the attitude and the persona of Memphis's of the Grizzlies to you?
Well, I would say this here. I was a part of the success that made the Memphis Grizzlies our Memphis Grizzlies.
Right, right. Yeah,
Before
absolutely.
that, even when Hubie was here and we won 50 games, the team wasn't embraced by the city the same way.
Right.
Where you can go, there's Grizzlies t-shirts, jerseys everywhere, hats. Before there was nothing. And when the opposing team came, their fans were here.
Right.
And then when there was no team fans here, and then there was nobody in the arena. And I remember telling our team that you got to create the excitement.
Absolutely.
And you have to make the fans come by your performances and your effort and how you do it. And we eventually did that and had a lot of success, and it was a lot of fun.
And the culture of the team ties so perfectly into the personality of the city. Nothing's easy for us.
The grit.
Nothing is easy for Memphis.
Right.
I mean, and the whole grit and grind persona, and that perfectly, in an economy of words, nothing more specifically and perfectly describes Memphis.
Well, you know, it's interesting. Grit and grind wasn't about our style. It was about putting in a day's work.
There you go.
And getting better.
Okay.
And then Tony.
It's like work ethic.
Right, it's work ethic. And you got to grind it. I mean, we just talked about it. It's not easy. Success doesn't come by a straight line. You got to go through barriers, over hills and in the valleys and what have you to have success. And I was just trying to teach them how to be successful. Whether we won or not was a different story. But by doing it this way, we were going to give ourselves a chance to compete.
Right.
And fortunately, we had enough talent to go ahead and win as well as compete.
Phenomenal.
What's it like going back to your days in the Portland Trailblazers, at the Portland Trailblazers, playing with Maurice and playing with Bill Walton and those guys? What was it like winning a championship? What are the feelings that a person experiences? I know you're going to feel elation and all those, but what is it like?
Well, you know, I get asked a question about that all the time. When we came together, and people don't know, we had Moses Malone on our team during training camp. So Moses and Bill were going at it, and we had Maurice Lucas. And we had just a very formidable group, but nobody knew about us because we were so young.
Right.
And you know how most of the media is who done it, he's going to do it again, versus we don't know, let's predict who's going to come on the scene. Well, we go through that season, we make some upsets, we get to the finals, and we upset the Giant, the Sixers with Julius Erving and those guys. And I remember when we got to Philly, we were so excited to be there, and we were so wanting to win. And Maurice Lucas and I went to dinner, and he says, yo, bro, he said, we got to get it done. He said, we may not get another chance to be here.
Right.
And I agree. We go out the first two games, and we lose, and we play terrible. And then Jack Ramsey told us to stay in our lane and do what we do, and we'll be fine. And then when we won, I remember a reporter came in the locker room, and he put the mic in my mouth, and he says, what do you feel? I said, relief. I said, I'm exhausted, and I'm relieved that it's over. I'm happy, but the marathon and the strain of playing a game and winning, playing a game and losing, it's just your emotion. You can't sleep at night and all of that stuff. But when it's over, you know, you're elated, and then they say, you think you can do it again next year?
That's the next one.
So, you know, that's what was actually going through my head when it was over. But over time, that summer, the realization that we were champions and they could never take it away from us came to fruition.
What's that pressure like, being down two? And in addition to the normal pressure that comes from being there, what kind of pressure is it like, being down two and having to come back?
There's pressure because you know if you lose another one, you're down 3-0.
Right.
If they beat us at home, we got to go back to Philly and play again.
Right.
Fortunately, the two losses were in Philly, so we came home, and we got the first one. It was a dogfight. We eventually blew it away. The next game, we blow them out.
Yeah.
And we go back to Philly, and we're blowing them out. They're booing them at halftime. They come back and make a game at the end, but we win. Then the last game in Portland was the best game of the series. Tit for tat, tit for tat. Julius Erving put on a show. George McGinnis puts on a show. You know, Walden has put on a show. You know, he has like 18 points and 24 rebounds and 7 block shots, you know, all that stuff.
Right.
And then we come to the end. We're up like 8, 9 points. We're supposed to win the game going away. Winds up coming down to a last-second shot.
Wow.
We just flittered away. We had opportunities to go score, didn't do it. We turned the ball away, but the main thing is we missed free throws. And we come down and we're looking at Julius Erving at the end of the game getting the ball and possibly beating us, right? And they threw it to George McGinnis, and he missed, and we get the rebound.
I remember. Because I'm like, how do you not get the ball to Doc?
Well, we were trying to take Doc away. He wasn't going to be Michael Jordan where he's going to pop out and shoot a 3 on us. Or LeBron James, you know, he was going to get it and do his thing and try to get to the basket. So, you know, and we teased Luke about it for a long time. Luke, man, you didn't even guard your man. He was white. I wanted him to get the shot. I was like, okay. I'm glad you knew that he was going to miss because I sure did. But there's always pressure. There's pressure on the Sixers because they're supposed to win.
They're supposed to. They were supposed to win.
I heard somebody talk about the Super Bowl and Stafford or Burroughs, who's had more. Everybody wants to win, so there's pressure.
Absolutely.
Right.
You don't want to lose, so you're gearing up to go out there.
Biggest stage ever.
Right.
Yeah. And the main thing is you want to do is just go out there and try to compete the best that you can and play to win and not play to lose.
All right. We've got Coach
Lionel Hollins
here with us.
But hold on. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about why he chose to go to Lemoyne on and coach after being in so many illustrious positions, and what is it that it inspires him about giving back. So stay right there, because we're going to be right here.
Thanks for taking my job. I appreciate it.
Well, give me that check, though. We'll be right back.
Human Speed with Kirk Whalum.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome, now I'm going to say my friend, Jonathan Capehart.
You came up and tapped me on my shoulder and you said, I'm a big fan. My name's Kirk Whalum. And I just about jumped out of my skin because I was like, wait, Kirk Whalum is saying hi to me? He's a fan of mine? Get out of here.
Human Speed with Kirk Whalum.
On our own sports, back at you. Back with Coach Hollins.
Coach.
So,
I got one quick question.
Okay. It's not going to be
what's
quick.
it like coaching LeBron James? What is it like?
Well, it's both easy and hard.
Okay.
Easy because he's so great and he understands so well. And he knows how to manipulate the group to give structure with his play to help them be better so he can be better. The hard part are the expectations that you're supposed to win just because he's on your team.
Right.
And LeBron is very coachable, contrary to what a lot of people think.
Really?
Oh, yeah. He wants to win. And he if he respects you as a coach, he's going to give you the freedom to coach him. Now, if he don't respect you, then that's a different story. But we didn't have that problem.
I saw he and Phil Handy going at it, going back into the huddle.
That's nothing. Phil goes at it with everybody.
Really? Phil looked like he wasn't taking none from LeBron.
Well, you know, that's Phil. You know, he used to go at it, and we're like, Phil, you're a coach, and they're the players.
Yeah.
If anything break out, you're out the door.
Also, he's that guy.
Where does and Larry and I have talked about this in the past. Where do you think the maturity and the wisdom that belies his age comes from with LeBron?
Well, there's only one answer. It's a gift from God.
Wow.
You know, there's players that have talent. They're not physically as gifted, or they're not wisdom gifted. And they're immature, and they have to grow, and it takes them half of their career to get there. he had it all. If you go and watch the special that they did on him.
He had it all coming out of high school.
Then.
Yeah.
He understood then. And we have conversation because Brian always asked me, why me? Little boy from Akron and my friends and this.
Really?
And I said, this philosophical conversation.
Yeah.
And I said, Brian, God chose you because he knew you and he knew what you were going to do with what he blessed you with. Everybody that he blesses with don't do what they're supposed to do.
That's exactly right.
Right.
But you have. And I said, so don't let all the critics get you down, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
And I said, see, all of us are gifted, Brian. I said, my gifts wasn't like your gifts. I said, but I was gifted to play in the NBA.
Right.
I said, but not on the level that you play.
Right.
And I said, we all have gifts and we all have purpose, and our gifts are to create a platform. And our platform leads us to our destiny, which is through our purpose of serving, serving the Father.
Right.
And when you open up I Promise School and you do what you do and you have all these things and you bring your boys, this is what you're supposed to be. This is what all that money that we're blessed with is supposed to go for. To give back and to help others.
Absolutely.
And bring us all together and bring us closer to the Father in heaven.
And as you do that, you are what my daddy used to say is storing up timber. You are building up, as you do what you're supposed to do, which is what you said, you are building blessings. Actually, that's what you're.
And you're blessing not only yourself, but the generations to come.
Absolutely.
Blessed to be a blessing.
This is R&R on Sports, and we're speaking with the great Lionel Hollins. Lionel, looking at another player that's great, amazing, Hall of Famer, first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's struggling. As a coach, how do you deal, what kind of conversations are happening with a guy like Russell Westbrook right now?
Well, I can't tell you. I'm not in the building, but when you get somebody like Russell from another team who's had all this success and had this great resume, you have to figure out how you're going to help him be successful.
Right.
You're going to have to figure out how to fit him in to help you win and help everybody else. And then you got to look at who he is. I mean, he's been on a team for I don't know how many games this year, and there's some things that he hasn't done very well.
Right.
And my conversation would be, the only thing I expect you to do to keep you on the court is play hard and make good decisions.
Okay.
Don't try to be the MVP, Russell. Don't try to be the 3-time scoring champion, Russell, or all the All-Star game, Russell. Just be a teammate that goes out there and competes every night, and good things will start happening. But if you're trying to stay on that platform that you've been on other teams, obviously it's not necessarily possible because you have LeBron.
Right.
And you have AD, and the team has been built around him, those two guys, since they've been together. So you got to come in and see a role, embrace a role, and operate at the highest level effort-wise to get it done.
Cool.
Coach, I want to ask you about this, the dynamic that we see going on, and particularly happening in the NFL. Talk a bit about, I think all too often, too many of us get so caught up on the name in the check, in the middle of the check, as opposed to the name bottom right on the check. Talk about the dynamic between coaches on a professional level and billionaire owners.
Well, I can speak firsthand because I was a long-time assistant coach. I think it was 15, 20 years before I got an opportunity, full-time coach. And my mother-in-law and I used to have these discussions all the time. Why don't you go and talk to these people? I said, well, first of all, I don't know them. And she said, well, why don't you go meet them and get to know them? I said, well, they don't want to meet me and get to know me. I said, I can walk up to an owner or even a general manager and say, hey, man, how you doing? I'm Lionel Hollins. Hey, how you doing? How's the family doing? How's it? And then 2 seconds later, they're gone.
Done. Yeah.
That's the conversation they want to have, because when you interact, just like we start talking about race relations.
Right.
When you interact with another person from a different race and you get to know them, your mindset about that person changes. It becomes that individual and me, and how he's affected me, treated me, versus the propaganda and the narrative that's been out there.
Right.
And so in sports, these guys are way up there. Their
Way up
lifestyle
there.
is so different.
Absolutely.
Maybe even now, we talked about, having Oprah's money versus Bill Gates's money.
Yeah.
That's a big difference. And what the players are making and what the owners are making is a big difference.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And where they operate from and who their friends are and who they know in the entertainment, political arenas, it's not where most of us, especially me coming in, and being naive and coming from the area that I came from to come in. But I learned from my previous experiences to be able to talk to anybody, and learning that no matter how much money they have, they're not better than me.
Right.
They can affect my life as far as a particular job, but they can't affect me. And I told Mike Heisley that one time when we were talking. I said, Mike, you got a lot of money, but that don't make you better than me. And he accepted that.
Did he? Okay.
So, I mean, we had a good
I was going to ask how he received that.
And one of the reasons that I actually became the Grizzlies coach eventually is because I had gotten to know Mike when he first took over the team in Vancouver. And we had conversations over the years. And the night that he called me and asked me to coach the team, he says, I believe you can coach our young guys. He said, I respect you and your family and how your kids are and how you raise your kids. That's why I got the job, because he saw who I was. And it wasn't because I went up to him and tried to get him to know me. It was over a period of time.
Right.
And most guys like to hang with guys they know. We go to a party, we go to where the brothers are, they go to where their people are.
Right.
But you got to come out of your bubble. And I was asked this question about the whole police thing and the George Floyd thing. And I said, well, we live in a bubble, they live in a bubble. Both parties have to prick the bubbles and come together
right,
in order to get to know each other.
Right.
I had a friend in Germantown. She wanted me to come and speak to some kids at a school in Germantown.
Right.
Like, what do you call it? A scared straight thing.
Right.
And I said, I'm not doing that. I said, your kids most likely are not going to be in jail.
Right.
Are not going to even be stopped by the police.
Absolutely.
Right. I said, I got a better idea. And we had the chief of police for Germantown and some other mothers. And I said, what we should do is we should go over to Kroc Center and bring all the Germantown white kids and have a get-together and let them be together for all day long.
Oh,
and then another week, bring all the kids from the Kroc Center out to Germantown. And I said, everybody will find out the black kids can be smart.
Right.
The white kids can have issues, even though they got money, even though they got all kinds of material things.
Right.
And then they'll start getting to know each other and respecting each other as people, as human beings. And that was the one thing that I said about, when will all of this end? Is when people decide to get up off their couch and go outside, get up off their couch and come outside, and even if you just walk down the street together.
Right.
I mean, I've been in doctors' offices and had people talk to me.
Right.
That in the beginning, they weren't talking to me. You just say something funny or say something that relaxes them because they're sitting there like, I've heard about him.
Right.
If I say something,
right.
And the whole thing is not to have a confrontation.
Right. Right.
That's the narrative. Is, hey, if you see one walking down the street, just
look straight ahead. Don't look them in the eye.
Or give that smile. I always I don't even know what I call a smile, but you're walking down the street and somebody looks right at you, you're like, they're not trying to talk to you. I try to make people talk to me.
Well, Coach, real quickly, why HBCU? What, at this stage of your career, what made it attractive?
Well, Bonzi Wells.
Okay.
I coached Bonzi when he was here with Hubie Brown. And we've stayed in touch, and we play golf together. And he's good friends with Damon Stoudemire, who's one of my dear friends. And we were in Vegas last summer for retired players convention. And we actually play golf together.
Okay.
And he told me, he said, I think I have a chance at getting the Lemoyne on job. I said, that's great, boss. That'd be a good job for you.
Right.
You know, to just start out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, if you need any help, give me a call. And so
in passing, yeah. Hey,
so he calls me, and so we set up a meeting in Midtown, and I bring a whole bunch of notes and drills and practice plans and plays and all kind of stuff. And I sit down and I started talking to him and his assistant. We were there for like 4 hours.
Uh-huh.
And then he said, Coach, what do you think about coming out? He said, I says, I've never taught before, and you know all that. Why don't you come out and help? I said, I guess I could do that. And so I started going over there, and I was having fun because it was real coaching again.
Right.
You know, it wasn't managing, it was coaching, teaching.
Right.
And so I enjoyed it. And then I had to have my knee replaced. And so I've been out, I think, since December 1. I've been over there since then, and I talked to the players. And they're waiting for me to come back. I don't know if I'll ever get back over there because things are starting to open up, me doing other stuff. But I enjoyed it. I enjoy Bozzy. I enjoy seeing his growth and helping him out. And when I was a young coach, there was coaches that took me under the wing. I didn't have a coaching job, but at camps and clinics.
Right.
And that's what we're all doing. I think Master P said this about, you know, and it's actually the story of our life. As leaders, we're trying to create more leaders.
Absolutely.
Master P was saying in his business, he's trying to create more people like him so that there's more and it just spreads out mushrooms. And that's what you're doing as a coach. You teach, you mentor, and you watch somebody else bloom.
Right.
You can't take my position. I don't have a position to be taken.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I've had my time. And even when I was younger, God's gonna gift me whatever I'm gonna be gifted with. You know, you can't have my gift,
right?
My position.
What's for me is for me.
Exactly. And so it's been fun watching him grow. He can be funny at times, but he's coming and he's done a good job.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And it's beautiful to hear you say that because too few of us share and nurture and pour into next generation. So thank you for that. That's beautiful. What's up? We got to get out of here.
I mean, you know what it is. Yeah, man.
Yeah. We appreciate you being with us here on our own Sports, Coach. And ask that you remember us. And so when the phone rings and this kid over here is on the other end. We're going to get Joy to call you back.
Yeah, get Joy to call you back. Yeah, for sure.
It's been my pleasure, man. I appreciate you asking me to come on and talk, and you know we could do this for 3 or 4 hours.
We could.
Absolutely.
And we might try in the future. R&R on Sports on the Kazukian Network. Back after this.
Kazukian.
The company is based in Memphis, but it is international.
A new building, an expanded team, new equipment, a new studio, all inside of 7 years.
The resources that we were able to utilize with Kazukian and their team has been incredible. And our partners at Kazukian has been a large part of our success.
One, it's Black owned. So we get to tell our own stories in our own way.
With social media and the technology we have today, the world is listening.
Kazukian. Check out all your Kazukian favorites now. Download the Kazukian app, available on Android and iOS.
R&R on Sports.
Welcome back. Before we head to the door, we want to say hail and farewell. Man, look, you got one more time.
King Big Booty.
You got one more
Man, I know back in the day when you was doing the bump with people, you broke many hips in your day.
Women love to bump with me,
they
baby.
didn't.
They
didn't. They
They
were still limping.
do.
They were still limping. They was limping out there.
They love to bump with me.
Thank you, Uncle Howard.
No. I was the one singing, I ain't gonna bump no more with no big fat woman. Joe Tex. Yes.
We gonna shout out somebody.
Yeah.
And being from Louisville, Kentucky, I swear I got more of this dude than I ever wanted to. And I'm going to say who it is. And I don't care about all.
Who used to win those battles? Did they beat y'all already?
They used to beat
regularly?
time to time, not regularly.
Okay.
Louisville probably had a better record against Indiana. But man, listen, I'm conflicted.
He's talking about
I'm conflicted.
Coach Bobby Knight.
And you don't want to talk about somebody. I don't want to talk about somebody in their
already gone
demise.
on.
But listen,
coaching the heavenly team.
No, he ain't. he ain't in heaven. But hey, you know what? Let's turn this on. You know what? Let's turn this on a positive note. He beat up Isaiah Thomas's brother, man. Isaiah Thomas's brother got angry about something and decided that he was going to run up on Bobby Knight and let him know about his unhappiness. And Bobby Knight dusted him up. Dusted him up.
Oh, my goodness.
They don't talk about it, but Bobby Knight, reason Isaiah ended up in Indiana was because his mama liked Bobby Knight. She said, because he guaranteed.
And everybody had to come by Isaiah's mama.
Yeah. She was OG.
Everybody.
She was OG in the hood. So yeah.
Right.
She was OG. So for that, I give him some props. But also, he cut Charles Barkley off the Olympic team, man. That would have been the most exciting Olympic team. And, he had cats, like Scott Mays. I just ain't even gonna talk. I ain't gonna talk about that, man. He had to be a great coach.
It took a special kind of brother.
Yeah, it took a special kind of brother
to play at Indiana for Coach Knight.
Well,
I will just leave it at that.
Yeah, let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that.
Took the kind of brother that know how to get in the boat and sit the hell down. Keep still. Don't move.
I wish that mother
don't rock
threw a damn chair at me. I wish he would throw a chair at me. Hot damn it!
And he didn't throw it. He really kind of slid it.
He slid it.
Yeah,
I'd have slid right back over there with him. It'd been like,
we appreciate you being with us here on R&R on Sports. We ask that you tell somebody. Keep listening.
Tell somebody.
Tell somebody.
Absolutely.
Testify as to your favorite sports show in the world. The entire universe. Let them know what it is. It's called R&R on Sports.
Say it again.
Be R&R on Sports.
One more time.
R&R on Sports. Be back with us again next week. Take care of yourselves and each other. I'm Howard Robertson.
And I'm the great one, Larry Robinson.
Bye.
Peace.
R&R is hosted by Larry Robinson and Howard Robertson. R&R is directed, produced, recorded, and distributed by Kadzukian.